All right. And then during the presentations, if you guys have any questions and you don't want to forget about the question, asking it later, you can always chat it in, put it in the chat box. And then once the presenter is over with their presentation, we'll ask for questions and answers. And then at that point, we can read them off of the chat box. So if there's anything that comes to your mind during this, just go ahead and insert it there. We will be dropping links as well of just talking over everything that we're sharing. And if this is going to be recorded, we'll share it onto our YouTube channel. And any of the additional flyers, resources, or anything that we're sharing, we will send it out to everybody who registered for this webinar. So that way you will have it. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Today, we're going to have our K through 12 Skilled Trades Work Group. And our topic for the month of December is going to be, let's talk careers at Tesla. We're going to be featuring the ACC Manufacturing. And we have two great special guests that I'll go into introduce once I talk about the introduction and agenda. So the K through 12 Skilled Trades Work Group, what is it? Why are we here? What brought us all together today? So this webinar work group is going to be something that Workforce Solutions has been doing monthly. So each month we talk about a different career within trades that we're trying to push out, and we see that it's a growing in-demand career field or occupation in the capital area. So this webinar mission, our target audience is going to be teachers, caseworkers, counselors, anybody really from a local ISD or a rural capital area ISD as well in the Austin Metroplex area. And our goal is, of course, to bring together everybody. So we want to connect the teachers, we want to connect the counselors, and we want to connect employers and schools together because everybody always shifts. Everybody's always. And what we want to do is really just get everybody connected, and you can make introductions with each other. And we're highlighting careers and pathways so that way the educators have the most prominent information to deliver to their students. So what we have here is the K through 12, and we will pick back up in January, and we'll go through the month of May. So let's talk careers at Tesla. So our agenda today is just going to be the introduction, labor market data, going over careers in manufacturing. And then we have industry speakers that are going to be talking about this great programs that they have to offer. We'll have questions and answers that we'll be able to go ahead and go through announcements, and then we'll have our closing. So I'll go ahead and get started with a little bit about labor market information. So we just wanted to pull some data over the occupation in manufacturing in this Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown Metroplex area. So if you can see here, you guys want to browse a little bit for the occupation. We have the employment, well as the average annual wages. And this is the current part right here. And then we also have 10 years down the line projected. And so when we're looking at the employment, you can see that there's a high number of a lot of openings that are available as well. So we'll move on to the next one because there is quite a few, and I will share this Excel spreadsheet with everybody because it goes to about 400 on the Excel spreadsheet. So I wasn't able to share all of it, or else we'd be here for a while. So when you see the occupation, you can see a whole bunch of different things. Mechanical engineers right now for the employment, there's 855 positions to be filled in this area. And the annual average wage is $95,000 annually. And then we also have a whole bunch of growth and what's projected in the next 10 years. Well, we're looking about the same. So you'll definitely have some job security with that. So what is the average annual wage? What are we seeing? So if you can see on down here, we start with 2010 and we're looking all the way 10 years for where we are today in 2021. And you can see how the rise of these wages have definitely increased over the years. And so we're looking around 118, we're looking at 119 type of area. And that's the average annual wage for somebody who is working in this type of field. So wanted to give that to you. And if you ever visit our Climb the Ladder CTX for Workforce Solutions, we have these great career profiles. And I just pulled the ones that we have down for manufacturing. So this is going to be going over the semiconductor processing technician. And we'll have, this is for all industries. We have it for healthcare, IT, skilled trades, and advanced manufacturing. And we'll have career profiles that's going to tell you the annual wages, the hourly wages for the students to see, and then what is that minimum education requirement for that position? What are the job duties? what is that position going to be really entailing? And the second page, it's going to go into how do I get started into this career pathway? Well, there's some related jobs with some median salaries that way you can kind of see everything. And I just wanted to pull all of those. So I'll give you guys a second so that way you can look at these. And of course, I'm going to share those career profiles with the email that I send. So that way you can see everything all together as well as the link if you were curious and want to show anybody else anything else on that website for our career profiles. So we'll go ahead and move along to our first guest speaker. She is with ACC, Advanced Manufacturing. We have Dr. Laura Maramello and Manufacturing Department Chair. I have her email listed and phone number. She's a wealth of information. She's a woman on the rise. She's a Latina in STEM. So she's really just so much more stuff that probably me and Ruben can brag about her about a lot of stuff. So I will be handling your next slides and stuff. So just let me know when you want me to proceed to the next one.
Thank you, Stephanie. That was very sweet of you. I appreciate your introduction. So hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here so I could share with you some of the things that ACC is doing to try to help bridge the gap for people who don't know what manufacturing is and don't know how they can grow within that sector. So I'm going to talk about two key things. First of all, I wanted to talk about the high school academy, and then we're going to talk about Tesla, because both of those actually feed into all those sectors here in the Austin area. So if we could go to the first slide. Oops, and then we have Ruben's. Okay, I'll talk. So how can ACC and you connect, and where can we help you get to where you want to go? So next slide. So I'll start with the high school academy. 2 years ago, we started an advanced manufacturing high school academy right in the middle of COVID, which was really challenging. But what it is it's a way for high school students to actually graduate with a level 1 certificate, which is basically half an associate's degree, but it's still a credential that the college offers. And we can help students get that credential before they even finish high school. So on the next slide, we'll talk about how that works. So the way it works is that students start within their junior year, and they can come to ACC for one class every semester, and I think one summer. And what that does is it allows them to start to build their academic profile in the college. They start to get their credits, and by the time they are seniors and graduating, they will have completed what we call the level 1 certificate. And so right now, this May will be our first graduating class from the high school, and we're really excited, and we're hoping to start growing this this high school academy, because it's a great way for you all, or for students, to be able to check out this industry. Sometimes you're not sure what you want to do when you graduate from high school. Well, if you have this certificate, you really have lots of choices. You can continue to go to school, get your associates, or you can actually be qualified to take many of these entry-level jobs in manufacturing. So it's a great opportunity for you to have more choices. And one of the things we're embedding in that academy is the certified production tech, which Ruben will talk about in a bit. And again, it's a national credential that again gives you some documentation that says you know enough to be valuable to a manufacturing company. So within those 2 years, you will learn about a lot of different things that are a part of manufacturing today. Manufacturing is different than it used to be. Now it's a lot more technical. So what you learn is electronics, you learn about materials, you learn about quality and production, you learn about programming robots, you learn about all the electromechanical devices that are part of automation, since that's typically found in most manufacturing facilities. And then above that, you learn basically what you're really learning is problem solving skills and how to work with people and communicate. So it's a really great field. I studied manufacturing or electronics when I was in college, and I just love the industry. There's always something new going on, and there's always more to learn. Next slide. So the other benefits that I like about the Academy is that we connect you with our industry mentors. We have many companies that are part of ARMA, our Austin Regional Manufacturing Association, and they partner with us to actually become mentors for our students. Now that COVID's kind of settling down, we want to do what we intended, which is to have tours, visit facilities, have guest lectures so that you can meet some engineers or some senior techs that would be able to explain what they do. And then also, of course, the benefit would be to have internship opportunities while you're either right before you graduate or after you graduate. So that's one of the benefits. The other part is that we do have what we call an incubator at ACC, which is basically a lab. And what it has is a lot of equipment that people can use. And what we're doing there is we're allowing entrepreneurs to rent space in the lab and prototype their designs. And so, like, for example, one of the students that's about to graduate from the academy, he's still in high school. He's going to start working in the lab this January as a part-time employee. So he's going to be able to interact with entrepreneurs, with businesses that come through, with faculty and staff. And so it's a way of connecting with industry before you even get out of school. So that's another advantage of the academy. And then, of course, scholarships. We have lots of scholarships at the college, and they really do want to fund the academy students to go the full 2 years. So they would pay, I'm pretty sure we get everyone a scholarship to continue the second year if they choose to do that. So there's a lot of great benefits to the academy. And again, you could get that done before you even graduate from high school. Next slide. But most people right now are asking me all about Tesla. How do you get to Tesla? What's that all about? So let me tell you a little bit about the program, and then I'll tell you how we can help you prepare for the program, as well as many other awesome jobs in the area. So the next slide. So here's a little bit about the program. What we're doing with Tesla is we're delivering a 14-week training for their technicians. So once they finish our training, they become full-time technicians at Tesla. Now, the thing about it is it's a little unique because it's actually, you have to apply to Tesla, they have to select you, and then they send you to us first thing. And the first thing that a student would do is go through our training. So they call it an earn and learn type of opportunity where you're in school for the first 14 weeks, but you're also being paid as an intern, so to speak, as you're going through this training. And then once you're finished with the training and if everything goes well, you will be able to be converted to a full-time permanent technician. So this particular program is not really an entry-level program. They're looking for people with some aptitude in electromechanical skills. If you were a high school student who got the certificate, that would make you much more eligible. If you've done other kind of part-time work that's in that same industry, that would make you eligible. So there's a lot of different reasons, but ACC doesn't select the candidates. It's definitely Tesla's decision who they select, but we will do the training. Now, the training tends to be mostly hands-on, which is good. And then right now, we're very lucky to have acquired a grant to pay for the tuition. So we have a grant for the next 12 months that we can fund people as they come through the program. If in the future we don't have that grant, there would be a cost to the student, but we will try always to find some funding sources to minimize the burden on the student who goes through the program. But again, the student is being paid as an employee or as an intern while he's in the program, so it's not a full burden because there are income coming in as well. All right, next slide. So here's some of the common questions I see, and I just wanted to put them out there because, you know, I get them quite frequently. It says, how do I sign up for the Tesla Start program? Sometimes people assume they can just sign up at ACC. And unfortunately, like I said, they have to be selected first by Tesla. So I always say, if you feel you have the right skill sets, go ahead and apply and see what happens. So they can apply. And if you don't get in, or even while you're waiting, we can also help you prepare for those jobs if you don't have enough technical background. So we will talk about that in just a bit. Another question I get is when and where are the classes being held? You know, some people want to know, is it in the evenings? Can they still work? Well, that program is a full-time program, meaning it's 40 hours a week. It's held at our Riverside campus, and it's basically a day class, 8 to 5. It's like going to work, but you're going to school. And then it says, what if I applied and got denied, which happens quite frequently because we've had a lot of applicants. But I always tell them, don't worry, there's still many, many opportunities to circle back because we can provide you with the right training, either through quick entry programs that Ruben will talk about, or our academic programs are very much aligned with the START program. What we teach in the START program, we actually offer many of those courses within our credit programs as well. So if you come to ACC for a semester or two, I think that would prepare you to be a much more competitive applicant the second time around. And what I've seen is that Tesla does look at our students. In fact, they sent some students back in the fall. They've been attending classes, and I know a couple of them have already been hired for January, and one of them was going to interview next week. So there is a connection, no guarantees, of course, but if you're taking the classes that prepare you for what they're looking for, it makes you much more competitive for the START program. Next slide. And I just want to throw this out here. I want to let everyone know that there's, in manufacturing, we've tried to create stackable credentials. What we say is points where everyone can access a continued growth in their education. So Ruben will talk about that very first step, which is a CPT, Certified Production Tech. That is our fast program that can get you a job first. And then, once you get a job, a lot of times, you want more, you want to upskill and grow in your knowledge so you can apply for the next job. So we have programs at ACC that will help you grow your career. And the reason we wanted all these steps is so that students could have the opportunity to take advantage when they can. Not everybody's able to just jump into school full time. Some people have to work. Life throws a curveball, and you may not be able to go to school for a period of time, and that's fine. We want to be able to allow multiple ways students can enter and exit school as needed. So by having these little credentials that build upon each other, every one of them builds upon each other, it makes it easier for someone to continue their career path. And just recently, we've gotten approval to add a bachelor's degree, and it's actually going to be the focus will be manufacturing. So I added that last piece, that even if you wanted to go towards a bachelor's degree, typically an associate's degree in technology and applied technology doesn't directly transfer to university, because it's intended to become a technician, which is basically the end of the educational track. But we added the bachelor's degree because it gives people an opportunity to even grow further if they want to be in management, or they want to, grow in the company they're in. So a bachelor's degree is going to start in 2022, next year, and that will completely accept all the credits from our associate's degree. Unlike if you try to transfer to another university, there might be some gaps in the transfer of courses. So it's just another step that gets people a nice trajectory, because manufacturing right now in Austin is really strong, and there's a need for all levels of training, beginning, middle skills, associate's degrees, and bachelor's degrees. They're needed in all of those areas. So we want to make sure there's access to all those career opportunities. And I think that this is where my last slide is. So, and if any questions, please feel free to let me know, and you're always welcome to reach out.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and look at that chat, see if there's any questions here. So Linda asked for a link to the handout. So I will send, after this Zoom, I will send an email with all of the flyers attached and everything, so that way you guys can have that. And then it looks like Shannon has also provided a link on the chat for the career profiles. Does anybody have a question over everything that you guys just read and heard? Let's see here. Okay, we do have one question. Can you confirm the credentials for the CPT through upskill to bachelor's? Are they fully stackable?
Yes, we try to make everything articulate to credit where it's applicable. In the CPT, which is starting in the non-credit area, and is 8 weeks long, is a national credential. And if you complete it and get the full credential, you can articulate that to 6 college credits or 2 classes that are part of the associate's degree. So that's six credits that you would earn, and you don't earn them until you become a student, but they're there in escrow, and when you're ready to continue, once you take a class at ACC, all you have to do is complete a form that I can provide you, and they would put that on your transcript as well. So yes, it's 6 college credits.
Wonderful. That's amazing. And I liked the slide that you have for frequently asked questions. I think if any of those were questions, they were answered right then and there at that moment too. So wonderful. And you guys continue to type in if you do have any questions. We will for sure answer those and look back. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to Ruben now. Thank you. And let me go ahead and come back to this slide because he needs a formal introduction. Let me go ahead and start this here. Oh, I didn't go there. Okay, no worries. Wait with me. All right, so Mr. Ramirez is with ACC and the Advanced Manufacturing Department. He is the coordinator, so he kind of has 10 roles from what I've discovered. So he is a great asset to them and so much, but he's gonna be talking over some things as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to his slides. That way he can talk more so about the CPT program. So I just gotta switch over. All right, here we go. Let me know when you need me to go to the next slide.
Yes, ma'am. So good morning, everyone. I just want to thank Stephanie for having us here and being able to share, you know, all the exciting things that we are cooking up here at ACC. This department is growing, it's expanding. We recently added the bachelor's degree, so we're really excited about that. A lot of students are excited about our programs. I work real close with the students, so I get to enjoy, you know, all the celebrations of them landing jobs at Tesla, at Samsung, at Applied, at Athena. I mean, all sorts of cool jobs here in Austin. So the most popular program that we have right now is the Certified Production Technician program. That is an entry-level program. And if you go to the next slide, Steph. Okay, not sure where that was. It should be the, yeah. So as you can see, the future is now. All these manufacturing companies, everyone's spoken about, right? Tesla, Samsung, all these big companies are coming to Austin, SpaceX. So people used to refer to Austin as the music capital of the world. Well, I'm calling it the manufacturing capital of Texas, because there's just tons of manufacturing happening here in our backyard. And again, you guys have seen the news, you guys have seen the headlines. So all these companies are in our backyard, guys. So basically, how do we get into these places, right? What can we do to work in these places? These are all innovative companies that are actually going to transform the way we live, our city, the world, and it's all coming here out of Austin. So I wanted to put that slide in there just so you guys can see that Tesla building there is 180 football fields large. Like, that is humongous. SpaceX is also building a factory in Austin, and of course, you guys know that Taylor got chosen to be to also, you know, build another factory here in Austin. So all of this is here in our backyard, which is going to provide tons of opportunities for students, for people, all in our area. So if you go to the next slide, please. So CPT is an entry-level course, right? But it's also a pathway into Tesla. We have about 5-6 students that have gotten into Tesla directly from CPT, and a couple have gotten into the Tesla Start program. So as Laura was mentioning earlier, we have the Certified Production Tech, which is the very first one, and it does give you 6 college credits. And then you have your other steps up, right? The more education you get, the more value you bring, the more possible pay that you will get, right? And the higher level job. Now the CPT does give you like an entry level position, but it's a little certification, but it packs a huge punch because a lot of companies are looking for that little certification, and it's only 8 weeks long. So if you go to the next slide, please. So these are like some benefits of the program. So it's designed to get you a job now, right away. The class is only 8 weeks long. Our instructors are highly qualified engineers. And what the CPT certification does, it gets you a foot into the door. Again, I had a student who was from Houston. He just graduated. His dream was to work at Tesla. He did the CPT program. 2 weeks after that, he got into Tesla. And man, he was just super excited. That's his dream, to work at that company. And considering he just graduated, he just did an 8-week course, and now he's in the building. So he's got a foot in the door. Now, wherever he goes from here, it's up to him, right? He's going to continue. He wants to get his level 1 certification, and he wants to work his way into a bachelor's, but he's starting there. That was a great start. And sometimes that's all we need, is a great start to be able to bloom and you know, sustain himself while he's going through school. But what better start than to start with Tesla? So this program is free if you qualify for funding with Workforce Solutions. It's only $1,100, but it is free for most students, especially if you have a hardship. Workforce Solutions is really good about funding students. So it could be free for a lot of you guys. And then as we mentioned, CBT classes are credits that you can apply towards a degree. If you get your full credential, you will get the 6 college credits. Next slide, please. And these are just some of the companies that we partnered up with. And there's many more. There's probably, I don't know, I think Ms. Laura mentioned 30 to 50, and they keep coming and adding to, you know, they all want our students. So again, it's like these companies are seeking our students out. They're calling us. They're saying, hey, we want, how many students do y'all got? You know, this last class that we have, there's almost 30. And if Samsung could, they would take them all. If Applied could, they would take them all. So that's how high demand these jobs are. And that's how big of a need these companies have, that they really, I mean, as soon as they graduate, it's not uncommon for our students to have anywhere from 3 to 5 to, I mean, I had a student that had 6 to 7 job offers from different companies. So it feels really good to be able to do a program, especially something that short, and to be in demand the way that they are. So, you know, it's a great way to again, have an entry-level position and create a future with a lot of these companies, right? You can take it as far as you want to take it, but it's just a great start for someone that thinking about being a technician or thinking about engineering. Can you go to the next slide, please? And we have flexible schedules. What I like about Austin Community College, you know, of course it's affordable, but it's also flexible. And so right now we have a cohort that goes from 6 to 8 in the evening. So people that want to transition to new jobs, what they're doing is they work during the day, right? And then in the evening, they do their class. So it doesn't affect their pay. You know, people have to work, people have families. So what's cool about the ACC is that we recognize that. And we have morning classes, we have day classes, and we have evening classes. So I think there's something for everyone to work with everyone's schedule. And like I said, the classes are very affordable. Our next class starts January 18th, and it's only Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's 9 to 12 in the morning. The Friday class will be in person. We're delivering like a hybrid model at the moment, which is a little bit online and a little bit in person. Most of all our labs, we do have 4 labs, and those are in person. But yeah, the flexibility with our schedule, I think is great, and it allows people to continue to work if they're working, and take care of their family, and then also you know, get their certification. Next slide, please. So here's my contact information. My name is Ruben Ramirez. I am the coordinator for manufacturing. I would love to speak at y'all's schools. I am a school teacher myself, worked at AISD for 17 years. I worked at Graham Elementary. I worked at Harris Elementary. And the first year I worked at Pickle Elementary. So I'm very familiar with the ISD, very familiar with the students in the Northeast area. If you guys need someone to come in and just speak about the program, I would love to go to your school, speak about it. And a lot of these kids, you know, I wasn't fortunate enough to have my parents pay for my school. So I had to work, you know, as soon as I graduated, and I was doing fast food. I did that for you know, the first years. And I think about it now, it's like, what if I had the opportunity to work at Tesla coming straight out of high school? Like, where would I be now? You know, who knows? But because those companies are in our backyard, because they're here, and because those opportunities are available, why not present those to our students and say, hey, you know what? You can work in these companies, and it only, you know, with an 8-week course. I mean, to me, it's like that is amazing that you can just do something that short and be able to land a job with this big high tech company. But that's my information. You know, my phone number is 512-517-4687, or you can reach me at my email, ruben.ramirez@austincc.edu. I'd be happy to speak to a student if you have someone that needs that wants to hear about the program, or I'd be happy to do a Zoom meeting with some of your students. But get my information, and I'd gladly speak about our program. This is the hottest program right now at ACC. We've probably pushed, I don't know, over 100 students through this program this year. And it's starting to spread and people are starting to tell their family members. And so now it's like, it's growing bigger and bigger. But again, you know, this is Miss Laura's vision. She's been visualizing this thing for a while. And the cool thing about the program though, is students started off with the 8 weeks, but now I'm hearing a lot of students are saying, you know what, I want to continue my education and I want to get the credit classes. I want to get my level 1 and I want to get my associates and I want to get my bachelor's. And now we have created that trajectory for them. So I see just big things happening here with the companies that are here and with the institute, you know, with ACC and the foundation that we've provided for them to be able to grow. But that's all I have, Stephanie. If there's any questions, or like I said, you guys can send me an email or you know, shoot me a phone call. I'd be happy to answer anything that you guys have.
Thank you so much, Ruben. I think you can definitely tell you worked with education before because you just have so much spunk when you talk and you're just so engaging. Like you're just really easy to pay attention to, like you just gravitate. So thank you so much for presenting on the CPT and explaining it.
Cool.
Say it once more. And so Christopher said CPT is an amazing education career opportunity option for students, but especially for the non-college bound high school graduates. So, I mean, I'm sure high school counselors hear it all the time. Teachers hear it all the time. Like, I am not going straight to college. I hear it all the time from students that I speak with, but they do need to do something post-secondary. A high school diploma isn't going to cut it. Or a GED isn't going to cut it if you want to live in the Austin capital area. So definitely getting them something to where they can earn while they learn, get immediately into a position to where they can start climbing that ladder and kind of eventually get to that point to where they can, because not all students are able to go straight to a four-year college to take that on. So awesome, amazing, great stuff. Thank you so much for sharing all of this information. If you guys have any questions, please put that in the chat while they're still here. Well,
yeah, it's definitely not all students know what they want to study either, you know.
Right.
A lot of them know that, you know, they want a good job. That's the first thing, you know, most students want is a great solid job. This is a great way to have stability. And then while you're working, figure out what you want to do, because I mean, I've heard, you know, research says that students change their majors 3 or 4 times. So as they're trying to learn themselves, trying to learn what they want to do. But this is an amazing start for anyone that's, you know, that's fresh out of high school.
Yes, yes. And then the Impact Academy, where they can graduate high school with that certification and immediately go into it. I mean, that's just even better. So that's amazing. I also wanted to ask you too, while I have you here, before I move on to that, can you explain what kind of work atmosphere, what's the type of, you know, job description for somebody going into? So what does a CPT do? What are the hours? Like, can they be on their phone? What is like the personality type that would be best fitting? Like, is there anything that you could say to those?
I'll give you my opinion and then Ruben can jump in. Pretty much what's important is having the ability to work with others, first of all. So it's not just about the technical. They really like people who can, you know, work together, who can try to figure something out. I think the key, like for me, I realize is when things are hard is to not get frustrated, to just, you know, figure out, okay, what can I do to solve it? Couple that with some skills, knowing how to use some tools. Again, technology is upskilled a lot, meaning everything's high tech in the sense that it's not like it used to be where now it's automation. So that means, okay, there's all kinds of complex equipment and computer controls, but it's nothing that something people can't learn. So when they get out of this program, a lot of times they're learning, they're going over how certain products are operating. It's really a learning curve, and then they're maintaining on a basic level some of these tools or some of these subs. Like, for example, they may have a vacuum system that they're maintaining and making sure that's calibrated, making sure that when someone changes, it's done, the procedure's done right. So they're learning that way. And as they get more knowledge, they start to build their skills and they give them more to do. So all students I've seen that go into like Samsung and other companies, they do work them gently up the ladder, meaning you're going to learn very basic, even if it's how to polish something. And then you're going to go into, okay, how to calibrate something. Okay, how to, you know, how to tell if it's functional, how to take a data point. So they'll grow them throughout the work experience.
And as far as shifts, I mean, most of these companies have like 3 or 4 different shifts. And so I think there's something for everyone, people that want to work evenings, people that want to work days. And then the pay is different too. Like I'm hearing, there's 15, 20% shift differential if you work a third shift. I have heard students say that they prefer the night shift because they want to go to school during the day. And then people that have families want to work during the day while their kids are in school. So it's just, and then some companies offer profit sharing, or every 3-4 months where they offer, like I said, a profit sharing. So I think once you get your CPT certification, I always tell my students, it's really important for you guys, if you got 4 or 5 different job offers, you really want to ask all these questions to all these companies, because figure out, they don't know where to go. They just got all these opportunities. I'm like, well, try to figure out what's the best situation for you. And yes, those are the big names, but there's lots of smaller companies that are also just as good and will work with your schedule. Some of them will even pay for your schooling. So it's really about you figuring out what's the best fit for you, because they have lots of options for you. So I think it's, it's super important to interview them just as much as they're interviewing you, to be able to, to get all that information and download all that information to figure out what's best for you.
Yes, awesome. One last question from me, and I'm going to take the chat. What is something that the counselors and teachers can tell the parents if their student is interested in going into manufacturing, where a parent feels like, oh no, they need to straight go into a 4-year college and major into something else. I'm not sure what manufacturing is, but I want my child to go to a 4-year. What could they tell them to reassure them that this is growing, this is in demand, and this is a great industry for your child to go into?
That's a great question, Stephanie, because everything's changed and people still think the way I used to think that's the same way, go to your university, and university is great. I wouldn't discredit that at all for anyone who wants to do that route. But what I think people need to know is there's multiple routes now. It's not just one path to success. There's multiple paths to success. And I think that they're equally valuable in terms of income and growth. So I think it's important for that message to go out, is that there are more than one pathways to having a successful career. And on top of that, they pay well, but on top of that, there's growth opportunities in manufacturing from all levels. So growth is important, not just the first step and how much do I get paid today, but what's my long-term outlook. I know people in other jobs that have come to CPT that have been in jobs for years, and their growth has been very flat. They've very, very low, income growth over the 10 years. And that's not what we want to see. We want to see someone who has the ability to make more money, to grow their knowledge, be more valuable, and be more satisfied in the jobs they do. And that's what I like about manufacturing. There's a lot of growth potential.
Yes, good. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a common question we tend to get. If I have a one-on-one with a student, he's like, I really want to go into this, or she's telling me, I really want to go into this, but my mom, I have to convince her, because they do have a big pull on their decision on what they do. So thank you so much for that. Let's see. All right, so let's see if any more questions. On the Tesla Start program website, it says attend and pass each of the 8-week training sessions with an 85 or higher. Is that referring to the CBT program?
I haven't seen that. I'm not sure what that is, but I know in the start, they do have to pass it's not 8 weeks. I mean, it's 14 weeks and there's like 7 classes within that. And they do have to pass those classes and be productive as they're going through it. And on the CPT, there is 4 exams that they have to pass. And the pass score is somewhere, it varies because it's on national credentials. So the number moves slightly, but it's somewhere around in the mid 70s. And each test has a different pass score, but it's all in the 70s somewhere. So yeah, that, and they can retest if they miss one of them up, that happens. So I'd say, I think 70 and up is pass rate for the Tesla Start, and 75 more or less and up is the pass rate for the CPT credentials.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't see that either when I was looking too, but I'm assuming she did say on the Tesla Start program website. So that's probably where it was thrown in. So for CBT, that's good to hear that it is 70 or higher. So, and you guys are continuing to work. I'm assuming they have like some type of work part where they can study and kind of get some tutoring and assistance. Is there anything like that on campus available to them?
For CPT, the instructor will always go through review sessions with them to prepare them for the test. So as long as they attend, most of the time when someone doesn't pass, it's because they've missed class. And that's really the main correlation I see. When there's a lot of absences, they may struggle with the exam because it is a timed exam too. So things like that can be an issue.
Yes, I'm sure since it's only within that short 8 weeks, I'm sure if you missed a class, it's almost like missing 3 weeks of class because there's so much information. And typically with anything, it's typically taught in a stacked manner. So if you miss something, then you really can't proceed to the next route till you learn that base. So thank you guys so much for
we've had
answering
students, Stephanie, we've had students that actually create their own study groups and that
Ooh.
actually kind of got together and did some stuff that would meet at a coffee shop. We've also had students who've had their own little Zoom meetings and gone over and reviewed stuff. So I think, I do want to build something sort of along those lines to be able to have a study with them and maybe kind of bring them together for some of this the exams. But for the most part, the instructor goes over everything really well, and a lot of these students they just have the desire to do it, and and if you don't pass, you also can retest. So it's not something that if you pass, that's it. No, you can retest.
Awesome. Good. Yes. Always encourage it. I think that's awesome that they do it on their own. Very, very cool. And I definitely see you starting something up in the future for that. And so
Yeah,
that will be really awesome. Thank you guys so much. We did have one more thing in the chat, which was saying for our YouTube, for Workforce Solutions on our YouTube channel, we do have a playlist of manufacturing videos where, we have gone into applied materials, and we have gone into Athena manufacturing. Of course, with Samsung, it's very like turn in your phone, turn in your life, close your eyes. Like what you see here, you don't speak about, but it is an amazing thing to see. But we do talk with different people here in the Austin area to talk about manufacturing. So you can learn on the employer side on our playlist. So thank you, Christopher, for sharing that. He put our playlist link in the chat. So thank you so much for adding that in there. We're going to go ahead and move on. Thank you guys so much. We are going to have our slide here where I want you guys to connect with us. I want you to check out our YouTube channel. I want you to follow us on Instagram. And if you have any questions, always email us at careerladder@wfscapitalarea.com. You heard Ruben talk about Workforce Solutions providing funding to the students. We do have tons of funding resources available, especially for students and parents who have children that they need childcare to allow them to go to school. And Workforce Solutions does provide childcare throughout an application process and making sure that you get qualified and approved. Workforce Solutions can help with many different things, and it's not just manufacturing, it's so much more. So definitely reach out to us. And if you're a teacher, counselor, caseworker, supporter, you can connect with us on our website and explore more opportunities and resources. Our career and education outreach specialists, we have created this Climb the Ladder CTX, where we have everything K through 12 resources. So you can check out that website separately, so that way you can check in with those. Let me check. Thank you, Shannon. She is going ahead and putting all of those handles in there. Let's see. And most definitely, we have a question here asking if we can use the videos to help promote the new manufacturing program to students. So you can definitely use the videos that we have linked. We have some that we didn't create that we think that are really prominent, giving good information that is linked into there as well. So you guys share amongst yourself with those and disperse. We also have a listserv. So this Skilled Trades webinar work group has a listserv. So if you have a flyer, or if you have a video, or if you need a speaker, or you need something, a student to talk to somebody one-on-one, you just send it over to our listserv, and that's going to be the K through 12 Skilled Trades at WFS. So I will send that along with that. And if you want it to be added to the listserv, you can just blast out and it will kind of connect us all together. Thank you guys so much for attending this morning. And thank you so much to ACC, Ruben and Laura for coming today and giving us a wealth of information about manufacturing, the programs that you guys are offering, and how to kind of panel that into getting a career at Tesla. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. Everybody just really being here today was a real treat. So gonna check the chat one last time. Thank you. Oh, she had to leave, so no worries. Thank you, Ruben, for being here and representing as well. I look forward to seeing you more. And everybody, please reach out to Ruben, because he has come out to 2 of my trade fairs in AISD, and he is amazing with the kids. And he has a whole table set. He's got materials, so he's ready to go out to your classroom. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate everything that you guys have done. This video will be shared onto our YouTube, and I will go ahead and follow up with the email with all of the information for you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.